So for the sake of clarity, let's name it. The inhumane is being perpetrated on our watch.
British-Scottish actor Tilda Swinton just absolutely eviscerated Donald Trump, as well as a number of other greedy and war criminal leaders, in her Life Achievement Award acceptance speech at the Berlin Film Festival. And it is such a brilliant and blistering takedown that I felt the need to share it with you all, because it is so spot on and emblematic of the power that art can have as a resistance tool to fight back. Now, her speech that we'll see in just a second is very clearly a reference to Donald Trump's insane and inhumane plans to turn the Gaza Strip into the Riviera of the Middle East that he recently flippantly and moronically announced like this.
You've said before that the U.S. would buy Gaza, and today you just said we're not going to buy Gaza.
We're not going to have to buy. We're going to have Gaza. We don't have to buy. There's nothing to buy. We will have Gaza.
What does that mean?
No reason to buy. There is nothing to buy. It's Gaza. It's a war-torn area. We're going to take it. We're going to hold it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to get it going eventually, where a lot of jobs are going to be created for the people in the Middle East. It's going to be for the people in the Middle East, but I think it can be a diamond. It can be an a tremendous asset for the Middle East.
Nice face, Tat. But hey, at least Donald Trump can finally join the club and add war criminal to his repertoire like the rest of American presidents. Because under what authority would Donald Trump seize Gaza? America. Your authority, that's how.
Mr. President, take it under what authority? It is sovereign territory.
Under the U.S. authority.
And Swinton's speech condemning this in Berlin was not the first time that she's spoken out about Trump or the rise of hateful right-wing ideology. In this New York Times podcast that's actually a fantastic listen, you should definitely check it out, titled Tilda Swinton Would Like a Word with Trump About His Mother, from this past December, she actually addressed this directly.
And since you mentioned November the 5th, and we've talked about the rise of the meanness of right-wing politics, let's name it. Let's use a word that is appropriate here. Meanness of that. Across the planet.
So the awareness of those two things, the meanness in the world and that the people who are being mean still are vulnerable little children, could elicit what productive response?
I suppose it's just about trying to not give up on connection, the possibility of connection between people. And the thing that's so upsetting, deeply upsetting, on a societal level and on a personal level, about the predicament in which we find ourselves globally now, where there's this tendency in the far right to encourage us all to give up on human connection and entirely be self-serving and cynical about the notion of connection. They would love us to give up. They would love us to give up on trying to reach some kind of agreement. I can tell you, and he may even read this, but if I ever met your incoming president, there is something I would really love to talk to him about, which is having a Scottish mother, having a mother from the Isle of Lewis. I know the Hebrides very well. That's something that I can go towards him on.
What would you want to talk to him about that?
I want to hear. I want to hear about her. I'm very curious about her. Aren't you?
Extremely curious. I have to say, I think the odds of President Trump clicking on the Tilda Swinton interview are low, but you never know.
You do yourself down, David. I'm sure he's a fan of you.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Like I said, a fantastic interview, and honestly made me a huge fan of hers. But not as much as this next moment, which may have lost her one giant orange baby fan.
A borderless realm, and with no policy of exclusion, persecution, or deportation. No visa required. It's so very, very good for us to wonder at the world and to be surprised by admiration for each other, rather than shocked speechless by our cavalier mean-spiritedness and cruelty. To notice our myriad variations and to unite in celebrating them, rather than resign ourselves to a submission to entitled domination and the astonishing savagery of spite. State-perpetrated and internationally enabled mass murder is currently actively terrorizing more than one part of our world, currently condemned by the very bodies specifically set up by humans to monitor things on Earth unacceptable to human society. These are facts. They need to be faced. So for the sake of clarity, let's name it. The inhumane is being perpetrated on our watch. I'm here to name it, without hesitation or doubt in my mind, and to lend my unwavering solidarity to all those who recognize the unacceptable complacency of our greed-addicted governments who make nice with planet wreckers and war criminals wherever they come from.
Absolutely brilliant takedown. Again, not only of Donald Trump, but the entire hateful right-wing MAGA ideology. And at such a crucial time, in such a crucial place, the Berlin Film Festival on a global stage, to just absolutely shit on Donald Trump and what's going on in the world is just so powerful. And it makes me think, like, we are not alone here. We the people who are fighting against Trump and fascism, are actually supported so much more broadly across the world. Even though a lot of times here in America, it feels like we're shouting into the void because Twitter is a cluster of Elon Musk and Trump suckers. So let's all stick together and remember, folks, that we are not alone in this fight. And if you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like, subscribing to join the resistance. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting. I'll drop that New York Times interview link in the description down below, as well as our Patreon link if you would like to support the channel. And for Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.